Before we begin, take a second to subscribe to the channel. Stories like this aren't just entertainment. They're reminders that real people live with real consequences. If you've ever trusted someone with your heart, this story is for you. My name is Rebecca. I'm 38 years old now, and even after everything that has happened, some wounds don't fade with time. They simply become quieter. This is one of those wounds. Not because of how my marriage ended, not even because of the betrayal itself, but because of how it all began, with love, compassion, and what I truly believed was the right decision. People often say, "You did what any good sister would do." And maybe they're right. But sometimes, doing the right thing opens the door to the worst possible outcome. 2 years ago, my life looked stable. Not perfect, but solid. I was married to Daniel, a man I trusted completely. We had built a life together brick by brick. We had children, routines, history. And then there was my younger sister, Claire. Claire had always been the sensitive one. The kind of person who felt deeply, loved intensely, and broke easily. That year had shattered her. A brutal breakup, a sudden job loss, and a spiral into a darkness I could hear in her voice even before she admitted it. The night she called me, I was folding laundry. I remember that detail because I dropped the shirt I was holding the moment I heard her crying. Not sniffles. Not quiet tears. Full body sobs. She told me she had nowhere to go. No money. No direction. No strength left. And without pausing, without consulting fear or logic, I said the words that changed everything. "Come stay with us." When I told Daniel, he didn't hesitate. That's one of the reasons I loved him. He didn't sigh. Didn't question it. Didn't warn me. He simply nodded and said, "She's family. Of course she can stay." At that moment, I felt proud of him. I thought I had married a good man. The first few weeks felt comforting. Claire stayed in the guest room. She helped with the kids. She cleaned up without being asked. She laughed again. Our home felt fuller, warmer. I remember thinking, this is what family is supposed to do. We support each other. We catch each other when we fall. I had no idea I was welcoming destruction into my own house. The warning signs didn't arrive screaming. They whispered. Daniel's phone used to sit face up on the counter. Now it was always flipped over. Claire started wearing perfume again. A scent that lingered just a second too long near Daniel's home office. They spoke in lowered voices. Stopped conversations when I entered a room. Nothing obvious. Nothing concrete. Just off. Every time doubt crept in, I crushed it. She's my sister. He's my husband. What kind of woman suspects betrayal from the two people she loves most? One night, I came home late from work. I walked into the kitchen and found them laughing together. Heads close, shoulders angled inward. When they noticed me, the laughter stopped instantly. The silence that followed made my stomach tighten. But I smiled. I ignored the voice inside me that whispered, "Pay attention." It was a Friday. Daniel suggested a movie night, something we hadn't done in months. Halfway through the film, his phone buzzed. He glanced at it, stood up, and said he needed to check something in the garage. Minutes passed. Then I heard it. A laugh. Not his. Hers. Something inside me froze. I walked to the back window. They were standing close. Too close. The glow from his phone lit their faces. And the way he looked at her, gentle, attentive, careful, it shattered me. Because I recognized that look. It used to be mine. I didn't confront them. I needed certainty. The next day, while my hands shook, I checked our security footage. At midnight, Daniel entered her room. He stayed for 23 minutes. I didn't cry. I felt detached, like I was watching someone else's life collapse. The next morning, Claire hummed while making breakfast. Daniel kissed my forehead before work. It was rehearsed normal. And that hurt more than the truth. I sat Claire down. "Did something happen between you and Daniel?" Her eyes widened, then filled with tears. "I didn't mean for it to happen." That sentence broke something inside me. Because things don't accidentally happen behind closed doors. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. "I messed up," he said quietly. One thing led to another. That was how he described the destruction of our marriage. I threw my ring at him. I told him to leave. The silence afterward was unbearable. My sister. My husband. Gone. I moved through life like a ghost. Work. Kids. Chores. Nothing felt real. Claire called weeks later. She said she was sorry. But some betrayals permanently change the way you see people. I told her not to call again. Daniel tried for months. Letters. Messages. Flowers. But trust, once broken, doesn't rebuild. It took nearly a year to feel again. Therapy helped. Solitude helped. I stopped searching for closure. I searched for peace. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means accepting that some stories don't end with forgiveness. They end with boundaries. 2 years later, I live alone with my children. The house is quieter. Lighter. Sometimes I pass the guest room and feel pain. But I also feel strength. I survived what I thought would destroy me. My sister lost her home. My husband lost his family. And I found my truth. Love isn't proven by forgiveness. It's proven by the lines you refuse to let anyone cross again. I thought the hardest part would be learning the truth. I was wrong. The hardest part came after. When the house stayed quiet, and the world expected me to move on like nothing had happened. The kids asked where their father was. I told them he needed time to fix his mistakes. I didn't tell them some mistakes don't get fixed. Daniel tried again weeks later. He stood at the door, eyes red, voice shaking. He said he missed his family. He said he still loved me. But love without respect is just noise. I closed the door. Claire disappeared from my life completely. No messages. No apologies that mattered. Losing her felt like losing a limb. Painful, permanent, and invisible to everyone else. Some nights I cried in the shower so my children wouldn't hear me break. Other nights, I sat in silence, learning how to breathe again. Slowly, something changed. I stopped blaming myself. I stopped asking what I could have done differently. Because betrayal is a choice, not a misunderstanding. Today, I don't hate them. Hate takes too much energy. I chose peace instead. I rebuilt my life quietly, carefully, honestly. And if there's one thing I know now, it's this. Not everyone who smiles at your table deserves a seat in your life. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes the hardest lessons come disguised as acts of kindness. And sometimes, protecting yourself is the bravest love of all.